Here.
Ta-da!
Are we live? Did you do it?
I did it.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if you couldn't know, but when I click off of this screen, I can no longer hear you because you only exist in the live stream. So I was just kind of vibing to the music away from you for a little bit.
So it was restful and lovely.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
I was having a great time.
Yeah, no, we're late.
I'm
Not my fault, as I said. Like, it was 6 o'clock on the button, and she's like, "I'm gonna go change my shirt." I'm like, "Where are you going?" just vibing to the music, just having a good old time.
I like my music. It's good music. Tell me if it's too loud.
They're surprised. They say no audio issues. Call the press. Coming in
See,
loud.
I was
and clear.
allowed to go change my shirt. It was my reward.
for doing it all right.
Yeah, I had the heater on because Emmy decided to take a bath, and then he gets all cold because we have Florida air conditioning. So my room was hot.
Somebody's saying that you're echoing, and I don't know if everybody else saying audio sounds good though. So I don't know if they're trolling you or if it's just
Music is a bit loud. I can turn the music down. Actually, let me turn the music down.
We're Maddie up. How are you guys doing after the food poisoning? Better now. It was
You
a little
food
touch
poisoned
and
yourself
go there for
later
a bit.
after you food poisoned me because we didn't eat the same thing.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, technically, you food poisoned yourself. I just left the poison on the table.
You just told me it was okay.
I didn't tell you anything. I just left the poison on the table, and you were like, "Ooh, tasted poison," and you did it.
Because you didn't know that it was poison.
Right. They do say you do sound a little echo-y.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe if I turn
It
this
just has
off.
an F, which says tinny, like a little tin can.
Am I tinny?
Oh, now you're
That's
gone.
weird.
No, I don't know what you did, but it's blissful and quiet. There it is. You're back.
No, they said it was perfect. So, okay, I think I'll fix better. And then I unfixed it. So then they're all gonna get real mad. But I have to. So you're getting a different audio track than they are. So I just have to. Now it's echoing again. See? Now I just have to go in and set you to get it the right way.
So everybody who said that the audio was my fault.
It is. You're the one that's getting the wrong audio.
No, but you're the one setting it up. Also, how dare you? How dare you? How dare all of you? I'm doing fine. Remember those settings. Yeah. So, like, it's the interesting thing because we don't stream often, right? We jump on here like
anything.
once a month. Yeah, that's what I would say. Whenever I do it, I'm like, I don't change anything. How is anything broken? Anywho, hey everybody, what's going on?
I have to reattach you to it every time, and every time.
Never mind, cancel the press. We've lost to the prestige of doing it right the first time.
It's like that. How many days since Raptor Attack?
Yeah, 0 days.
How many
Raptor
streams
Attack.
since audio issues, guys? Yes, this is still live. We just went live. And this time
yes.
we have.
Yep.
I'm learning
we are
slowly.
still live. Rabbit hole.
As you
Write the settings down.
realize,
Hello, friends. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Yes, Firebrand, you did miss Maddie's visit to the Great Cold North. It was a working trip. I made her do things.
Yeah.
She did a lot of the leather crafting. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. She got a little bit of snow in. You know, it snowed some. It was nice. And now she's back in her horrid alligator-infested wasteland. And
I don't know. So the very first day we drove to your house, it had snowed, and I, as a snow innocent, didn't realize that it was the wet snow. So I got out of the car. We were in a meeting, like an important meeting on our
like
phones.
a business meeting.
Like an important business meeting. And I excitedly went over to the snow, looked at you excitedly, and you gave me a single nod, and then I fell into the snow with my phone still having the meeting, just with the camera and the mic turned off. Turns out it was the wet, sticky snow not the soft fluffy one. So it stuck to all of me and also made my, got stuck to my phone, turned off my meeting by the snow pressing the buttons. And then I got up out of it. I was like, ah! And he's like, idiot. I was like, you told me to.
No. So the nod I gave her was at least before me. It was the same nod like my parents would give me when I was about to do something stupid. When they go, like, you sure? She looked at me. She goes, I go, like, fucking, I guess. And she didn't even like put her hands in front of her. She just full flat fell onto like that. You know when the snow gets to the point where it is melted and then re-solidified just enough that it's just little balls of ice piled on top of each other.
No, it wasn't. It was soft. I touched it first. It was soft. It was real soft. It was just very sticky.
Very sticky.
Which is very sticky. I then proceeded to try to give him a hug.
Well, I'm still in our meeting, and I pull it away and I go, don't.
No. That is not the reaction you had. What he had
I said,
was,
please don't.
No, you looked up at me, pain in your voice and on your face, and says, please no, don't do it.
Still in the meeting, though. Hell.
You like to think that he was so, in control of the moment. No, he was pleading with me to not hug him with my snow-covered body. It would have been cold. You also have a lifetime of memory of I have no self-control. Like,
none.
I've shoved snow down your shirt before.
Yeah, when you grow up, so it's like one of those fun, cute things you see on like, winter like Hallmark things or like cartoons or whatever. But when you've grown up in the frozen north, when somebody puts snow down your shirt, it's not cute. You're like, don't do it. I spend every day in this fighting the cold. This is not fun for me.
I'm just gonna flounce back to Florida. Oh my god. I forget what trip it was. It might have been one of the times I visited up when it was cold. It might have been the time that I house sat the first time where I lost my earbuds, and then you laughed at me from Florida. You got to experience my life where you laughed at me from Florida. Where we made the Valkyrie.
Okay. Made a little snowman crow.
A little snow crow.
On the front of the car. A little like sticks for wings and whatever. And we started driving. And that little sucker like hung on. We were going fast. So eventually we're playing the Flight of the Valkyries. Dun, da, 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 da,
yeah, we were like not even playing it. We were singing it. We were going dun 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 while we were driving. And that, like, I have a picture of it. That snow crow lasted till we almost got to dinner. Like, it was like a 15-minute drive where that snow crow hung on.
Solid craftsmanship right there. It was good job. Proud of you.
I noticed, Chidathi mentioned that we're jittering intermittently. I noticed that you lag every once in a while. Are you plugged into the Are you hardwired in?
In fact, I'm not.
You messaged me. You were so professional. You're like, I've got it all set
I know. I got everything done early, too. I could have done it. I just forgot. ADHD's a real bitch. I thought of it, too, upstairs. I'm like, plug in. Make sure you plug in. And I didn't. I, in fact, did not.
I like how everyone tries to shit on me for not being able to handle the snow or whatever. But, like, sure, I grew up in Florida. I have experience with snow. And, like, every time that you guys have thrown me at snow, I've done great. Like, I plowed your entire yard with one glove and then helped the neighbor.
I will disagree. Yeah, no, you are actually very good in the snow. So the story she alluded to before, we have like a door cam. And we left her house sitting for the first time here. Well, we went to Florida. So I'm sitting on the beach.
Hit by a blizzard.
Yeah, hit by a huge blizzard. And I'm sitting on the beach and I look at the door cam because it said something was happening. And I see her out there and she's bringing the dog and the dog's tugging at the leash. And she dropped her earbud, her white Apple earbud, into the snow. So I see her looking around. And then she brings the dog back in. And I see her come back out with a shovel. And she was out there for like ever, just sifting through the snow.
I made like search squares where I had it so it would play a noise. But it was in snow, so it reverb, like, it was at least a foot of snow.
It really was. It was a huge blizzard.
Yeah, it was like a 1.3 like in a day. It was great.
You did a good job.
Yeah, no, and then how long would you say that your driveway is?
Oh my god, it's too long. That's how long.
You're the measurements person.
I don't know. I'd say it's probably like 60 yards or something like that. It's a long driveway.
It is a long driveway. Anyway, I plowed that entire thing, and then I helped his neighbor plow his yard. And I did like detail work too. Like I got the shovel out. Like I learned how to use his tractor plowed, got the shovel out, did detail work, then used my shovel to help the neighbor with it because I didn't trust my ability to drive that thing near his car. Because your neighbor, I think it was right when they had their kid and his mother-in-law was visiting.
Like so Maddie, the helpful snow fairy. Hey, Bale's here.
But yeah, the only part of me that really gets cold is my hands, which sucked because as soon as I got there right before the blizzard, I was taking Cerberus for a walk and I took a glove off to like do something, and that he like pulled or something, and I guess I like dropped the glove and it's just gone forever. So the rest of the time I was there, I had one glove.
One whole glove. Someone asked if we are going to be LARPing in 2020. Boy, how are we going to be LARPing in 2025? We've got things on the docket for 2025 for sure. So yes, we will in fact be LARPing.
We will in fact be LARPing.
Yeah. There is
at the very least, we will be doing Conquest. We have our whole camp set up for it. Yep. We have to figure out how we want to start advertising that because, man, I feel like January was like, I did it in the post announcing we would be skipping this week, but January so far, and I've touched base with other people. They say it's the same thing for them. Is like we all got past 2024, and it was a shit year. It was like one of those years that like drags at you. And we got into 2025. We're like, New Year's gonna be better. And then like 24 reached back and said, "You thought," and just
smack.
Just basically like, you know when you're like exit velocity, like you have to push through even worse to get out of it. I feel like that's what January has been, and I think that we should all unanimously that the new year starts in February.
Yeah, no, so I think it was a good thing for us though, because we decided immediately after like 2024 was really hard for us. It was very, very hard, like burnout and just like life stuff and all that kind of health. It was hard.
Yeah, like I was hospitalized. Like I had 3 family members that like were like long-term hospitalized. Like a lot of stuff happened last year.
So we learned nothing initially though. We started January being like, cool, right back to it. Make sure every week we're on time, we're doing this. And like we had a moment where we're just like, that's dumb. Like our health is genuinely bad with it, and we don't like making content. And the nice thing is we skipped a little bit for the holidays, and then we had a piece of content, and it did just as well as some of our better pieces, which isn't usual. When you're a smaller channel, it's hard because like the algorithm slaps you if you take time off or if you're not super consistent. So we're hoping we're to the point now where like you guys, who's a big help when you guys watch, is it's consistent enough that they know that we can take a little bit of time off and not necessarily get slapped, which means we can just give you better content and not just feel like we have to fill in every single week.
I think we had the realization that a lot of the bigger channels, they do like better videos with longer, like, but only like once a month. And when you're smaller, it very much feels like if you don't hit things very consistently, YouTube slaps you hard. And I think that it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I think it's more YouTube looks at the amount of views that you're consistently getting on your channel per day. So like if we skip our normal time, that's when our audience expects us. That's when it's gonna like know that our audience is watching. So it's gonna get that initial boost, and then it does better. And then if we don't do videos as consistently, then like our overall view count per day goes down across all our videos. So when we did like a video that did real well, our average, even though we weren't posting new videos, our average view count stayed the same.
Yeah.
So like YouTube just didn't care. It was like, yeah, no, take a break. It's fine. Like, you're doing great. Like, I don't conceptualize new videos being released. I only see the numbers.
Yeah, so it's great. Yeah, it's nice to know that we can not feel like we're moving backwards real hard, which is awesome because it's really good for our health. Also, just like for the quality of things we make, I like taking the time and actually making something that's like to the best of my abilities rather than being like, I have 24 hours to go. Just like,
curious to
it's good.
stream if he's like, every once in a while freezes to like 1 frame per few seconds. Because if he is for you guys too, I will force him to go plug in his computer.
Yeah, I will happily go do that. I just don't want to like break the flow if we chatting. But yes, sorry. We are in fact going to Conquest for sure. Mm-hmm. We have other things in the fire. Bale is on here, and he can tell us what we're able to chat about or not. But we got some.
Yeah, they said you're lagging, 100% freezing.
Okay, let me go do things then.
Go
I shall return. Yes.
So since this month's been kind of like, I don't know, like a learning experience for us when it comes to taking care of ourselves, we set up all these big plans for how we're gonna do our content going forward. And then we just kind of looked at the plans, and we've done that thing where like you lay out the plans, but then you don't fill them in. So you just have like the outline of what you're supposed to do. You feel really organized, but you haven't actually done any work. We've done that. And I feel like there's this opportunity that we have since it is the design stream. No, Frankie J just gave us $20 with an emoji of a big lemon hugging a little lime.
Thank you, Frankie J.
Is it an apple? I don't know, but it's.
If you could still hear me while I wrestle with this rat's nest.
They can. Your microphone's on your shirt, so.
Huzzah!
So yeah, I think maybe a good thing for us to do would just be to like talk about like design the channel and how we go forward with stuff. Because like I said, we have all those like abstract plans and like how we want to do content, but we haven't committed to anything yet.
Yeah, do you want to talk about some of the like learning things? Ooh, hopefully I didn't just destroy the interwebs. Am I still there?
No, you're still here.
Huzzah!
They just hear you like, according to them, rustling noises further intensifies.
I am fighting with cordage and trying not to pull my modem off of the shelf on which it lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
okay.
What we had, honestly, starting last year, that we just immediately fell apart as people. First of all, we filmed and then just never put together a like channel trailer.
It's true.
We even talked to Bale about like
I think we're good.
Getting a new intro and stuff.
Okay, let me know if that helps. Also, I'm going to shut this door because it's cold now.
No.
Letting out all the magic heat. Okay.
They're like, I'm surprised we don't see things being thrown around like in cartoons.
Yeah, you just can't see behind the camera. That was 100% happening.
Yeah, he's not a careful looker.
No. I throw everything everywhere. The intro is always loud, they say. That's good to know. The do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, honestly, like, that stuff helps. Like, I know, like, our audio mixing has been weird recently, and I think it's just because of how Adobe's been weird recently, so that might have started out balanced, but now we have no idea what is real.
We usually use, like, templates that we kind of put things in to make the editing process easier, and Adobe decided to do some updates that just totally scrubbed all of our templates. So we're like re-putting stuff together, and some of it plays nice and some of it doesn't. It's fun. If he threw something off camera, I'd swear I hear a cat sound. Yeah, right? So someone asked if I at least clean up.
Sometimes.
Yes. Eventually.
So really, I'll tell it from my side because I get the more broad picture, I guess. He cleans up sometimes, not because he doesn't want to, but because he gets thrown into a new project so suddenly that he just constantly like jumps from project to project as we finish the month, and then like when there's a moment to breathe, he's like, I don't hear from him from a day, and then he comes back, he's like, I have cleaned.
Because at that point it takes a day. Like I'll have the leather stuff from like one project out on one table. I bought a cart specifically so I could take the table and go like this to all the tools onto said cart and wheel it off to the side so I could immediately start the next project. So yeah, it's been a work in progress. I am a work in progress as a crafter.
We're all works in progress as people.
Oh yeah, no, we're making it work. Hello everybody. Seems a bunch of people jumping on.
Say
Hello,
that you're
hello.
Still intermittently freezing. No.
Really? I'm plugged in. I don't know why at that point. That's what I got. That's what I can do.
It's just, I guess the internet just doesn't. Your face is only internet enough. Your audio comes through fine, so. We're
done here. I'm gonna try a thing. I might drop out. If I drop out, I'll come back. Let me push a button. And I.
No. Yup, he's gone. He's dead. He's dead now. Time to vibe. It's good music though, guys. Let me know if the music's too quiet now, because I turned it down. It's always my show. It's my show now. So, I feel like we're kind of, and I feel like we've said this a bunch, but it's such a, like, oh, hold on.
Have I returned?
Yeah.
Haha! This is pure Ethernet, baby. I had to shut off Wi-Fi because it was still trying to do Wi-Fi, not the Ethernet. So that's what happened. Hello.
Lives.
I did it. Sound okay? Everything good?
What is my favorite ramen? I like, oh geez, what's the, like, cream pork one? It's like, I can see the word, I just can't.
I feel like when we talk about favorite ramen, I was broke for long enough that I think of like top ramen, like the blue one.
Tonkatsu.
Yeah, somebody else already answered in the thing. You knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. I like that one.
Just like that, early 2000 technology wins, right? Yay, Ethernet.
I mean, we don't know. He could still freeze.
It's true. Y'all gotta let me know.
The internet just doesn't
him. Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
We have multiple times, actually. we definitely did. So how this works is we have a streaming platform that has a thing that if I send him a link, it'll let him basically log on to a browser and then send me he'll see me and hear me, and I'll get his audio and video and stuff, which honestly is kind of a hard thing. They feel like there should be more software around that. It's always been difficult to just make a live stream where there is multiple inputs, not from right around you. Like when we tried to do live stream gaming, like that's a big deal where we found this feature and it was like the holy grail of you can actually share your screen at the same time as a camera.
Are you seeing what Bale just said?
You can say what project you're working on in reference to recent news that is safe to say at this stage.
Oof. I don't know if that's...
I mean, we posted the announcement.
Hey, Frankie J.
It's French. Tell me what it means.
Ne gelais pas? I don't know gelais, actually. It's negative.
Tell
Tell
us what it... yeah. So, something... You are not something. I can fill in the blank a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Maybe smart. No, I would know that one.
Yeah, like we posted the Lord of the Rings announcement, the news posting, and kind of teased it a little bit.
No details. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically like we can show you the announcement. We can say we're involved, and the rest is up to you to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, no, we
So anyway,
yeah,
we were
happily
talking
been
about
jumped into the ground floor there. So.
Yeah, we were talking about our LARP plans for the year, and we were talking about Conquest and the things that we might be doing and stuff like that.
Right.
Non-relation to that, of course.
No, no. Oh, those two things, what would they have to do with each other, of course? But just keep your calendars open-ish for events that might come up. Just keep them flexible. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Just watch the space. Keep your calendars flexible. Come hang out with us.
So I kind of want to talk to the community about like both concrete and like dream plans for where we take skill tree. Like I like the idea of kind of using this live stream as a design for making skill tree.
Yeah. I'd like to know all your take on some of the plans we got.
Yeah, I can actually switch us to the design one. The format of the stream is us smaller up top and then two bigger ones for us to have like us both to have a place that we're like sharing a screen. I could share kind of like my notes on skill tree stuff, or we can just talk about it and not move formats. Up to you.
Well, I think we just kind of chat about it. That's fine. We can talk about some of the initial thoughts we had on how to run stuff.
Do you think that you'll be able to hone that attention long enough?
When have I ever not been able to? What was that?
I'm just saying, every single live stream we've ever done turns into a Q&A.
Well, I'm focused. I'm dialed in. Also, hi, Jenny. Thank you for recently finding our stuff and watching our back catalog. At this point, we have, I think, an episode. You could watch an episode a day for an entire year.
We have a lot of episodes.
We've just crested 100.
Some of them might be shorter than
365.
others, but we have a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Just so you know, guys, he's not allowed to use ADHD as an excuse. I also have ADHD.
Yeah, she's better at the being a person in general than I am. I'm good at the crafting. She's just better at like personing.
We go about it different ways. You tend to focus on your focus tends to be very kind of like jumpy. But you're better at redirecting yourself. My focus tends to be very intense, and then once I'm there, that's where I live until my brain lets go.
True.
Like you do that too, but not like I do it.
No. So she was doing world building at one point, and she was building the actual world, and she was trying to figure out where like resources would land in this world. So I leave her alone for like a day. And she comes to me with like full maps, like geological
like
maps.
Making geology, yeah, because I showed you all my maps.
Full maps of like how this world would actually form.
How,
like, tectonic plates and where they would go, and
like the air temperatures and currents, and
the tides and stuff of the world,
and the different.
Hot damn.
So. Yeah, we have like he does hyper focus too, but mine's a lot more. His tends to be a lot more jumpy. Jesus, people are not ready for this. He tends to be a lot more jumpy with his attention. I tend to be a lot more like I'll latch on. Even in conversations, like you've definitely seen it in streams before, where you'll say something I get interested in, and I'll just full on remove myself from the conversation, research it. Then 5 minutes later, you've talked about 6 other things. I come back and I'm like, so it's actually really interesting, that thing that we were talking about with like cats and like that. Then they're like, what? We've like this one. That was a while ago.
You were telling me to focus on what we're going to talk about for the stream, and now this is all we're talking about. See, I lured you down this rabbit hole. I gotcha.
I'm just saying that you're not allowed to use it as an excuse. Like, you're not allowed to just, like, do the dance and say, ADHD.
ADHD. I'm going to drop this right here, just in case anybody hasn't seen this particular announcement, because I'm just very excited by it. Also, Bale, Bale's sharing with me in the background here a thing he's working on, one of his kit pieces. It's very impressive, very cool.
So Bale is a very impressive crafter. Like he's but he doesn't like show it off super often. So every once in a while, he just like randomly shows us a piece of kit or something he's working on, and we're just like, Bale, it's amazing.
What the hell? Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about like casting jewelry and stuff. He's like, I've done
actually,
it before.
That's a
all
really
you have to do is
big
this and
thing
this.
for me. And he's like, I'm gonna teach you all the things about casting, and I'm gonna show you all this casting stuff, and I'm gonna show you like my regal full costume, and I'm like, Jesus, Bale.
Like, okay, I feel small now.
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
so
he just has so much life.
To the channel. It's the same Bale as Bale on a bike.
Is there any other Bale?
It is in fact the same Bale as Bale on a bike.
So I want to talk about. So someone mentioned kind of what's stopping me from moving. If we it's really just finances. Like we said, 2024 was difficult for us, and like a lot of medical stuff came up. So I'm kind of dealing with some medical debt that I'm bashful. Bashful Bale. And like basically just like I'm not in a bad situation. I just need to settle some stuff before I can take like a financial leap. And then Skilltree isn't big enough to financially like make that a comfortable leap. We've got definitely some plans and some stuff in motion to try to get to that place. But it really just depends on the growth of the channel. It's so funny because we're definitely hitting that stopgap where the bottleneck is me not being there to help and like figure stuff out and all that. But we can't cross that threshold until the channel's big enough to pay for me to be there.
It's that tricky little middle ground where we're big enough that it takes a lot of work to keep things running, but we're not big enough to afford the type of help to keep things running. I live in the New England area and it's very expensive. So
so I live in the Miami area, which I thought was expensive. But at least it justifies that by being a place with stuff. He lives in the middle of nowhere, which is just as expensive, with nothing to justify being that expensive. So like
somebody say, pull an arc in the hospital.
Pull an arc in the hospital.
Steal
where
everything.
I live, and where he lives, it costs the same amount to get like a studio apartment, like no bedroom studio apartment, which is like $1,500 a month. It's not okay.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So let's do channel-y stuff. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so like one of the things that I have become endeared to is the idea of starting other channels. And that's kind of just because like Skilltree is our bread and butter. It can also be a little bit of like the backbone of like what we do, make sure that we can support the rest of it. But like if I'm there, I want to start doing like I think we talked about before. I was like, we have the Skilltree Craft channel where we do all the like the stuff we do now. Then I want to do like the Skilltree Life channel where it's very similar. We have our kind of like archetypes. But it's focused on more like your like life skills rather than kind of like the more crafty fantasy skills. So like the archetypes would be something like the roadsmith, where like we cover stuff around driving or taking care of your car or like painting your car, like doing your oil change. And then of course we just do it fun and goofy and like actually learn some stuff, because I know that's like specifically the auto repair and whatever. That's stuff that people have asked us for a lot. So like if we have another channel that is allowed to be those kinds of like goofy real life skills, and then Skilltree in of itself just lets itself be like a epic crafting channel, then we can do stuff like the roadsmith, the homekeeper, which is like just taking care of your home, doing like DIY,
So I
like
think
DIY projects.
if we were to do stuff like that and branch out that way, I think we would have to do it in a way almost like Game Theory did it, right? Where they have a few different styles of their channels. So they have like Film Theory, Game Theory, you know, all these different things. But they have to be broken off into those large chunks that carry a lot of umbrella stuff, because if you spread it too many channels out, then you know that it gets too much to keep up with. But then there's like the only issue with it is the double duty that pulls them, because then you know we're still making skill tree videos, and then we have to play double duty and also film and edit other channel videos too, which makes it tricky.
But I feel like there's that consideration to take. I'm obviously not saying we start this now. I feel like there's a level of if you'd let me get through my proposal first.
Just preach, do it, do your proposal.
Preach.
Shark Tank me.
Shark Tank you. It's actually 3 other channels that obviously we wouldn't start all at once, but it's just kind of like all the stuff that we've talked about wanting to do funneled into like different like categories. So there's the Homekeeper, which is all about like learning just basic like plumbing, electrical fixes, weatherproofing, decluttering, storage, shelving, building stuff, like taking care of like that kind of general handy stuff around the house. The Culinary Alchemist, which is all like anything from like learning about global cuisine, cooking, like preserving, fermentation, advanced culinary, meal budgeting, dietary adaptations. Probably like also like drink mixing and stuff in there too.
Just so it doesn't get lost in the flow here. So Bill Billings brought up that it could all still be skill tree, just lifted in different branches. The issue, this is where it does kind of come down to the algorithm, because YouTube likes to put you in very specific boxes. And it isn't like, I feel like everybody always kind of gets down on the algorithm and they're like, the algorithm pushes you down. It's not necessarily what it is. There's
you, like, not the algorithm, it's you.
It is you, like it is the viewers, right? So our viewers, they say, you know, the viewers that watch you because they like this particular thing. So one of the biggest things is leather crafting. A lot of you and a lot of our viewers really like leather crafting and like those kind of projects. So when we do that, there's this Venn diagram that you exist in that says this type of person likes this type of content, and you just made some of this type of content, so we will show it to you. If we were to turn around tomorrow and do a cooking episode, let's say, the algorithm, which is really smart now, like it actually watches your video ahead of time while it's like doing stuff and figuring out kind of where you fit inside of that bucket. It's going to then look at your viewing history and say, you know, not only have they never watched this type of content from you specifically, but they don't tend to watch this type of content in general. So we're going to not show this episode necessarily to your audience as much. And then it's like a reverse kind of, when we say something snowballs, it snowballs in the opposite way, where when it snowballs in a good way, a lot of initial, like within the first couple of hours, if a lot of you watch our video within the first couple of hours, YouTube is like, cool, we're now going to show that to more people because it seems to have good momentum. If it goes the opposite way and we have episodes where not a lot of you watch, it does the opposite and says, cool, this one isn't working as much. We're not going to show this to as many people because we don't think, we'd rather them be on videos they're going to stay on for longer, because that's how they make their money, right?
Yeah, YouTube,
so
the algorithm
painful.
doesn't care at all the type of content you make. It cares what people watch. So like, it's going to take it's going to try to combine what normally works for your channel and what normally works for the person. So like what normally keeps them watching, and they're going to shove it at the person. So like, if you guys don't watch other crafting videos, or you guys don't like, you want us to do like, auto, like how to fix your car. If you haven't watched how to fix your car videos before, like YouTube's not going to push that to you, even if it's just us, until we get big enough that enough people are watching it in the beginning just for the sake that it's us, that it starts that roll of videos doing well.
Yeah, and some of you are saying that, like, we'll watch it just because, like, we like you two and stuff. And that's really where we want to get to a point. Like, there is that, like, internet of personality thing where we get to know you guys real well and you get to know us and you're going to watch no matter what.
Yeah,
though we still want to make content you like.
It starts to feel like hanging out with friends. Like,
yeah.
When we make the video, like, a lot of times, like, we're making it for you. And then we really enjoy when we post it. Like, it's always a thing for us after we post it. Or that entire day, we're just constantly like sending screenshots of comments back and forth, like talking about how people reacted, like it's an experience more. So
yeah, it really does lift you up. It's pretty great. Also, hey, Dark Horse knows what we're talking about.
And the same goes for people watching the videos. Like, it stops being you're there to learn about a specific thing because you searched for it, and you're there because you want to hang out with us.
I like this little get around. You can do a cooking in your car while you're making pauldrons video. You right here, smart. I like you gaming the system there. It's like, we're making this thing, but also as we make it, I'm making this delicious souffle on the side. We should do that just for fun. Be like, let's game the algorithm today.
Yeah, it's just like, welcome to the Everything is Leather channel, where we do a little bit of everything and then leather. Just so the algorithm thinks that you'll like it. So yeah, anyway, let me continue with my pitch.
All right, continue with your pitch. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Shark Tank.
So then there's the Wayfinder, who's basically like outdoor stuff. I'm going to try to cut it down because we keep going on tangents and I don't even get past one. Survivalist, which is less like outdoor survival and more like self-defense, first aid, like mental resilience, like that kind of stuff. It's just like self-care in the wider sense. Extended self-reliance. The Professional, which is all like money skills, organization, business skills, public speaking. Because me and Kit are like, we're practiced at public speaking.
Yeah.
So many people in this world don't know how to public speak.
It's a huge skill. It's like a superpower. Like in my day job company, I climbed pretty good because I could get in front of people and everybody else hated
honestly,
it.
they like, he's in a much higher position than what he should be doing when he's going to like present and stuff, but they tried to find other people to present and they couldn't in the entire company. So then they're like, hey, could you do it still? I know you have a whole other job, but like,
public speaking's great. Yeah, it's kind of a superpower.
Yeah. Like me and Kit don't know how to do anything. We are very much a fake it till you make it kind of people, but if you learn to talk in certain ways and you learn to kind of project yourself with confidence, people will believe you. And you'll start to believe yourself.
I'm genuinely one of those people, even to this day, when I'm in front of like a live audience, before me getting in front of the live audience, I can't eat for the entire day. Like, I'm nauseous just before I get in front of the audience. It doesn't matter whether like I'm an expert at the thing that I'm going to be talking about or whatever. Like, I am terrified until I get onto the stage, and then I go into like numb state, and I just
activate the character.
Yeah, I activate the character, and that character helps me through it. That's actually where D&D helps out a lot, because you can like summon a different you that is okay with it. But like, honestly, I've always been terrified of crowds. But hey, thank you for the $5 there. Was it Kirkity?
Bale said that he can guest to teach how to boil water. He's a pro, one of his most valued skills.
I mean, just super valuable skill, boiling water. Yeah, so exactly that, like, Bale, the New York Comic Con. So we got to sit at a panel in front of like hundreds of people at the New York Comic Con. And again, before that, freaking terrified. Like, on a bucket list I didn't know I had to do, actually sitting on a panel in a Comic-Con by itself is like, cool, that's neat. But then like, it was a completely packed room, and that's cool. What happened between the time I sat down and started talking to the audience and what happened after we left is a blank in my brain. Like, I'm just kind of like,
I'm a different person. So like, Matt Hort had a good comment of using characters to gaslight yourself is a super useful skill.
It's so
really
useful.
Is. So like,
it's so
for
useful.
One of the medicines I have to take recently, I have to self-inject it. And I have like a lifetime phobia of needles. I'm not even scared of the pain anymore, but when I go to do it, my brain, like, he's watched it happen. My brain will literally, like, stutter and refuse. But the way that we get past that is like, cool, what's that badass, like, NPC that you played for years in our D&D campaign that you know how she feels in your brain? And I'm like, cool, yeah, I'm gonna stab myself all day long. I'm gonna be blown up and just do whatever I want. It's fine.
It works.
You just be this different person. You use Master Chief from the books because you got to, in the books, you get to experience their brain, like how they think and how they feel as a person. And you can just adapt that. She lives
it helps.
In my head.
Yeah, you can put on just a different skin. The role playing is legit a really great way to get through things. You talk to your parents first. You talk to your friends. You're a completely different person. You put on a different skin. You can learn to do that on command. For sure. Yeah. That is one of the best skills. Like, I would highly recommend if anybody out here hasn't played like D&D yet, or like tried a LARP or something like that, if you can get that skill of being able to be like, this is the type of person I need to be to get this thing done. This person isn't afraid of this thing I'm afraid of, or this person has the confidence that we need to get this, like, this position, or is a smoother talker or something. Yeah, if you can like really, if you can really make that, it's called code switching. Yeah, you can really make that thing inside your head. Man, it's so good.
Yeah, it's the code switching is the term that it's been used in kind of like a psychological setting of like when you go between different like groups,
like social groups,
that you are a different person for each one. You're you're just a different version of you. When you can learn to make versions of yourself that have the traits that you need on command, it's so powerful. You're like, cool.
Rissa just brought up I'm sorry, Rissa just brought up a good point here too, where they said that basically they got the upper hand because of her anxiety, made her say silly things to make the crowd laugh in between songs and stuff. That is definitely something I use. Like when we talk about the Comic-Con thing or whatever, I'll usually stand up and immediately make an ass of myself in front of everybody just to get it out of the way.
Like you humanize yourself quite hard. You're like, I know you like. You'll try to like say something if it's a business presentation. It's like, I know you all don't want to be here, and I'll try to make it as interesting as possible, or stuff like that. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I don't generally listen.
I know you don't.
I hang on every word.
Then what was I gonna say?
I hang on every word. I don't know what you were going to say.
I
right?
Started saying.
That's precognition is what you're asking about. We can move right along here.
Okay, well, let me go back to my proposal, since we haven't even gone through one of the channels that we went. And then the next is the stylist, which is like self-care and style. Anything from like learning personal grooming to self-care to like learning your style and how to dress. Oh, you just went away. Did your camera just turn off? Ah, he's gone. He's gone forever, and I can't even tell him because his mic was connected to that.
I was saying you were gone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now. I got you.
Yeah.
I have to turn you on whenever you reconnect. Yeah, so the next archetype that I'd want in the kind of like life channel would be the stylist, which honestly, one of the biggest motivations for this one, but this channel in general, was that show that you showed me where like the gaggle of gay people fix a person.
Oh, Queer Eye. I love Queer Eye.
Yeah, Queer Eye.
Yeah.
I also just really like saying gaggle of gay people because it's alliteration, and it just makes my brain happy.
It just makes you chuckle.
Yeah. So like that kind of thing where you just, there's so like, we cannot emphasize enough how much your life improves the moment that you start to care about your style and your self-portrayal. Yeah. It doesn't matter what type of style, as long as you care about it. Like,
yeah, it makes you feel good.
Yeah. Then the last one's the cultivated, which is basically like social and cultural skills. The other two channels, much shorter descriptions because they're more like they're less structured, so there's not like I couldn't structure them. Which would basically be like Skill Tree Adventures, which would be us like we'd put all our LARP stuff onto that. Because like our LARP stuff doesn't actually fit into our channel very well.
It doesn't do very
because
well.
YouTube gets very confused. It's like, are you a crafting channel or are you like an event channel? We're very confused. So like having a channel that we can first of all do, it doesn't have to be just all event stuff. It can be crafting, but more like that specific type of crafting that doesn't fit anywhere except preparing for events, like prosthetics and stuff. Which never do well on our channel because
I know, and I love making them. It's so sad prosthetics don't do well.
Yeah. So like event prep and gear, like community spotlights, like going out and meeting people, like everything that has to do with the adventure, like be it going out into the world and going to Ren fairs, meeting people, going to like a sheep farm and like doing experiential stuff where we shear sheep and then we send it off to the Skill Tree channel to like make a thing. Like that kind of more fun, like doing stuff kind of vibe rather than like learning a hard skill. And then the last one is the Let Me Tell You a Story that we started and then stopped. Because I feel like that those 4 channels kind of capture all the ways that we crave being creative.
Yeah. We do crave
it. Let Me Tell You a Story being something that's like, if we started another channel, that one would probably be the first because it's the most accessible.
Also, it's the most that ties in with our Conquest camp.
Yeah, because it is actually like, that channel's what inspired our Conquest characters. So like, the ones who are telling the stories
are our Conquest characters. Real quick, Dark Horse had mentioned that he messed up his channel over the last couple of years and working on fixing it this year. Man, eventually we should just have you here with us for like a live stream. I think it'd be really cool to like chat YouTube with that. Like I'd like to know what things you think you kind of did. Because we've done it too. Like we put up some stuff that we're just like, oh man, the past couple of months of things that we've been doing have brought us on this weird trajectory. And then it's kind of fun when you're talking to somebody else who does YouTube because you can kind of compare notes because some stuff, I guarantee you, isn't even like you. Like there, between talking to a bunch of different YouTubers, I feel like there are just these trends that happen, and it's so easy to blame yourself and what you put on the channel. But it's like, when you go across the board, everybody's like, man, between there and here, like, I don't know what happened, but everybody stopped watching. And then all of a sudden it picks back up again.
It's
and you're like, oh.
Macroeconomics, baby. No one pays attention to the macroeconomics.
Yeah, it just kind of, these big things. That's why you'll see these big channels that suddenly start like screaming from the rooftops, being like, YouTube's blocking us and YouTube's trying to kill us. And it's like, we'll just wait a little bit. And things start to trend back up. It's like, it might not be trying to kill you. It's just...
Yeah, a lot of times those channels just kind of get so used to doing so well that when they actually have to try again, they're like, excuse you?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. Like, us smaller YouTubes are like, I screwed this up. I'm doing a bad job. Where bigger YouTubes are like, YouTube is screwing us.
Travel tutorial. Yeah, that would be a great one to do on the kind of like life. Or the adventure channel.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I like those ideas. I think those would be fun, especially as we kind of grow. It'd be nice to be able to do all of those things.
I like that. Also, we have Skill Tree, which like the crafting one, which I don't. You guys will let us know. Like, I kind of like the idea of Skill Tree being the overarching brand. I don't know what we'd call the crafting channel. What if we did that though? Like we'd have to.
Did you receive Dark Horse's last two messages? Because this hits us really close to home. What is up with those? What is up with the laser companies?
Cheap to produce, but they're expensive to sell. So.
Man, yeah, laser companies are always like. Well, we fell into
like 6 per month. I swear.
Yeah, we fell into a position where
Amazon ones that are just like.
Yeah. Even with some of the nicer ones, though, we fell into a position where we got that really nice one, the OMTech one recently. but the non-compete on that one was so long that we're not able to take on any other laser anything for like a year. So like problem solved for a while.
Oh yeah, X Tool's pretty great.
Oh my god, I love my X Tool too.
Yeah,
it's so
I
great.
like if anyone is going to get a laser, like those brands that we have the bigger ones from, X Tool, Omtech, like they're known for being good lasers.
Worth it, especially if you're thinking of starting a thing where you can like produce. Like the big problem we have, and one of the reasons, like another reason we want Maddie to come up, and somebody mentioned it earlier, like make merch and stuff. Like with the lasers, we generally could start dishing out a lot of merch because they're fantastic like machines to do that. And if you're doing production line stuff, or if you have to dish out a lot of things, you really can't go wrong with a good laser. You'll make your money back if you start, you know, I don't want to like sell you a dream. You got to do the business work and stuff, obviously. But, you know, if you start a shop or something and you're selling a good product and you make it so that your lasers can do the work for you, so worth the money, crazy worth the money.
Said I really want that Omtech laser because of the coin video. I was like, man,
oh my god, I love it so much.
That's like when it comes to something like that kind of fiber laser, or the big what type of CO2, the big CO2 one we got from X Tool. Those are the kinds of tools that they are infinitely useful. They are as useful as you can think of ways to make them useful. Like
crazy.
I swear he still will randomly disappear for a day and then just appear with a bunch of stuff that he's like, I discovered that I can do this.
Even now, Dark Horse, it did a problem and started me down a trajectory where he said how lasers help with acid etch, and now that's all I can think of. I'm like, how though? Do tell.
I think the problem is that they're expensive, and then they're not like, you have to kind of already have something going for you to fully utilize them, because they won't do everything for you. And the really cool stuff comes when you have other stuff around it. So it's hard to justify just getting a laser. Man, you get like a resin 3D printer and a laser though, like you can make just about everything.
Dark Horse, that's a good idea. Hell. And also Firebrand, let's chat. I like that. And just put it in your etch. Yeah, somebody else was saying the Cricut too. Man, Cricuts are great. They're a great tool too. Even like one step kind of back from, I wouldn't even say back, like not lesser, but as far as expense is concerned, if you want to do production stuff, getting yourself a Cricut. I have a friend who does like custom stickers. You know, she designs them. She gets into her little, I think she uses GIMP. It's like the free art program. It's like Photoshop, but the free art program. It's super powerful. You can totally get away with GIMP for doing most of your stuff. That's what I learned on actually. But yeah, she does that to make these sticker designs. She used her Cricut to cut them out. Only thing she invested in was a small Cricut and a good printer, and that's it. And she has a whole ass business making stickers. Like a lot you can do with those tools. I froze again. I was just getting into talking.
You're not frozen right now.
Somebody said I froze again. Matt said I froze.
I was getting my bird.
More sciencey stuff. Back. Borb.
Yeah, the lasers are. They're definitely like they're an investment, but they do a lot.
They do a lot. Yeah.
I would say before you go into actually using one, like have a lot of plans of what you're gonna use it for, like make it worth the investment.
For sure.
Know what you're getting into.
Yeah, and have the space for it, obviously, depending on the printer, right?
They are surprisingly big.
Especially for like the production size ones, they're surprisingly big.
They also need like ventilation and stuff, so like like basically know what you're getting into and what you're actually going to use it for. Don't just get it because shiny thing made shiny thing and you're excited.
Yeah. So that's another thing too, is as much as we'll do things like, you know, obviously we're a channel, we have to do sponsorships and stuff. We're trying to work with our agent to find ways to make them less intrusive, like just kind of as we're using a tool, have it point out and be like, interested in this tool we're using, click this thing here. So it doesn't like stop for a full commercial or whatever. But we're trying that. But we don't tend to push anything. Like I genuinely, in fact, it's not here right now because I walk around with it all the time. Oh, there it is. I genuinely
He
use
uses his fume a lot.
I genuinely use my fume. Like I love this damn thing. Like all the stuff we have.
The fume, like with sponsorships, we're required to say certain things. So good. So the fume, if you do get it, it's not as strong a taste as you might expect.
It's not crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of subtle. But it's one of those things that like it's both. It smells really good. Like even just having it on your person makes you smell really good. It's fun to play with. It's a nice weight.
I feel like we're doing an ad, but yeah, it's generally like a clicky, fun thing.
Because like when we do actual ads, we don't get the chance to actually like
say our own stuff.
Yeah, because we're not allowed to say certain stuff. We're not allowed to. Like, we have to say certain things. We have a very short amount of time to say those certain things. So, like, we try to keep it so that if we're telling you that we like a thing, we do like it.
Yeah. We have a thing with the person, Tori, by the way, who books all of our stuff. That's like, cool, you push it our way. We need X amount of time to actually try it because we don't like to push anything we don't try first. Mm-hmm. And then
even then it's kind of scary because like we've seen all recently like so many companies that seemed okay now coming out of like they've been scamming you all along.
Yeah, so we try our best to do as much research as possible.
Yeah, like we try our best. Always do your own research in anything you buy. But hopefully if we do research and you do research, we'll be able to catch anything that falls to the net. Bale said might have to try one of those to get off the cancer sticks. It's like,
man, I'll send you one, Bale. I really do like them. They're really good.
I never get to use the second one he has because I leave the most things at your house.
Yeah.
So you can just send him that one.
So
it makes you smell really good. Like,
it does make you smell
like
in your pocket. This makes you smell. I don't want this to become an ad. They didn't pay for this, damn it. But yeah, going back to kind of the channel stuff, I know we also have decided, so a lot of you had talked about the level up this skill thing not being there because we very much want that to mean a thing. So we want to have it. I don't want to talk in here, your camera's there. We very much want it to be so that you can follow an actual progression, right? Not just every episode is a level up thing. So we're splitting those a little bit. So we're going to have it where when we're actually teaching like fundamental skills and actually building a thing up, that's when we're being like, hey, the level up, and those will go into a playlist that if you were to actually follow that playlist from 1 on the way up, you would be learning new skills every time that are building on those old skills, so that by the end of it, like we'd have just a whole little curriculum that you can use and actually kind of feel like you're leveling up. We didn't want to just throw it onto random stuff, or honestly, sometimes I get bored and I feel like making like a really big, fancy, flashy thing that
doesn't
is
actually teach us skills, and then we try to like force it into the curriculum, and it makes it less valuable to you guys. So
yeah, we want it to be valuable.
We're kind of doing like we're splitting our videos into 3 different types, which is we're going to be doing like curriculum-based ones where we've laid out skills that we want to teach you, and we're going to do projects that teach you those things. Then, based on those videos, we're going to take notes on like the tools, techniques, and all those different things that we can go into more detail. And we'll release like videos that are like the ones we've done on like dyeing or sewing, where we're just going to teach you, we're going to experiment, learn, and teach you about this very specific thing. Then for when Kit gets bored, we have like, you also have to learn that like learning isn't so linear. There is a lot of you learn a new thing and then you just play with it for like 5 projects. So we want to be more flexible with the projects that we do. So like Kit can just be, I don't really feel like trying out something new I just want to play and like I don't want to do a curriculum today. I don't want to take a class. I want to play. So we want to do more of those videos and just play and have fun and not have that pressure of being, I guess, a teacher in every single thing, and instead leveling up with you rather than trying to level up before and then show you how to do it. It's a subtle difference, but it's there.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow King kind of put it really well, where we're trying to level up ourselves too, where it's like, yeah, I genuinely, if you watch from the very beginning, like the first episode, that was my first leather project ever. And like when you see me doing things or learning stuff or doing things on here, I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I've got a pretty good handle now with some of the basics with the leather crafting and stuff. A lot of my like fit and finish work, like Dark Horse on here, his tooling is extraordinary. Like every time I see his stuff, I'm like, damn, I suck. You know, Prince Armory, same. Prince Armory's fantastic. Like does amazing work. So like I'm still very much learning, and because I do tend to spread myself very thin on the different stuff I'm learning, it means I'm not necessarily growing really fast at any one particular thing, which I'm okay with. Like that's not a talking trash about myself thing. It's I know how I am, and I'd get bored if I stuck with one thing. I like kind of being a jack of all trades, master of none type of deal. But yeah, so I sometimes do need that with what Maddie was saying, whereas I need to just kind of throw myself into a thing and really play with it and experiment in this space. Like Maddie's here, and I had her doing, so we're going to do an episode that is like, was it 5 super beginner projects if you're just getting started,
like
kind of leather.
Projects to get you started with leathercraft.
Yeah.
And to prove that they are projects to get you started with leathercraft, I did them.
Right. She's super new with it.
But at leathercraft.
In doing so, like I learned something really interesting, because she was just trying the leather stamps on this coaster to try to like make a design. So she's doing these stamps, and she didn't like the way one part of it was, so she wanted to add something else, but it kind of went over the line of another stamp. So at first it looked like, you know, you can see the stamp going through it. But we decided to do an experiment, and we re-wet the leather and then went back in with a stylist and just kind of blurred that stuff underneath it. And it almost completely like I didn't ever think to do that. I thought once you did kind of one on another, if you didn't like it, like you're pretty much screwed. That's where it is now. But we were able to re-push those fibers around a little bit, blend it in a lot more easily. That was cool. I never thought of that. I didn't think you could do that.
Yeah, leather acts surprisingly gummy when you wet it enough. Like if you leave it to soak for a little bit, you can get it to almost kind of act like a weird leather clay mix.
No. Yeah, I like when someone says, I get Dark Horse. I get a lot of positive feedback when I follow my face. Man, people love watching you mess up a thing, because I think there's always that issue. It's kind of like that drawing tutorial where it's like how to draw an owl, and it's like a circle, another circle, and then it shows a full owl all drawn with like all the detail in it. Goes, and then just draw the rest of the owl. Like I feel like a lot of those tutorial videos, there's somebody who has all of the tools, knows exactly what they're doing. They've been a professional in the space forever. And then you watch it as somebody like starting brand new, and you're like, oh, I'm super out of my depth, and any failure makes me feel bad, right? But
I think it's also something we say of
like
even you have a lot more crafting experience than I do. So like there are a lot of things that in our tutorials that you'll just be like, and then I did this, and I'm like, what? And it's not until I'm there and I'm helping you make the video that, like, I remember there was one, I think when you were making the Staff of the Wanderer, where I just looked over and off camera you were like sanding some wood before you glued it together. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm making it rough so the glue has a place to catch onto it. And I just blinked blankly at you, and you said, I should probably record this. I didn't really think of it, I guess, like as a thing that people wouldn't know, because you've been doing that, like even just those little things for long enough that you have basic crafter knowledge. I do not.
That's the thing I fall into a lot, especially with wood, because the one craft I am fairly good at, I was a home builder for like 8 years. So we would take a home from like just barren land. Sometimes we'd actually have to clear cut some of the areas. We do everything from the landscaping to the digging of the foundation, pouring the concrete, like the entire thing. we built the house. So like, I know woodworking very well. My biggest thing was like finish carpentry. I love doing finish carpentry. So I did that for a long time. So it's really easy for me to slip into a thing of like, no, don't show that. That's like, you know, or don't even think about recording it because it just is. It doesn't feel like a thing I would record. I don't know. I guess you fall into that trap when you've done it for a long time.
It's like threading a needle. Like, it's something that you just assume people know. Like, you had to thread the needle before you started sewing. But if someone's never heard of sewing, they're not going to be like, how did you attach that needle to that thread? I don't understand. Like, it just doesn't work for me. Did you tie it? Do I have to tie it? I don't...
I had that moment when I watched the first time I saw somebody sewing. Sewing's still black magic to me. Where they tied the knot at the end of the needle, which I was always like trying to actually knot, and they just wrapped it around their finger a couple times, and they twisted their finger and pulled, and it just became a knot. I'm like, shut up! That's so cool.
When you were doing that thing where you just, when you don't double loop it, you take the needle and you poke it through the thread, and then you pull it tight, and it creates a knot in of itself, which helps a lot with like sewing with leather, because you can't create something thicker, it won't pull through, but it constantly wants to pull out of the needle if you don't tie it. So those kinds of things, even just like you putting like masking tape on the edge of a thing you were sewing that you needed to make a straight line for the seam, like that was just like a
it's a little temporary thing, so we had a straight line.
Yeah, I was like, what? What?
I like how chatty you guys are, but I feel like I keep falling behind.
Someone asked what Emmy's name is. His name is Emmy.
His name is Emmy. And you did it. Yeah, man.
I answered it.
Dark Horse, if you ever do want to post, Matt said that we have the Skill Tree Discord where you can post projects. Like, yeah, we're always happy too. Like, we need to be better. That's another thing where we're taking a little bit of time to not be so diligent and making sure like something's out every month or every week, I should say. Definitely something every month. But like we need to take more time because we want to be on the Discord a lot more. Like we want to hang out with you guys because we genuinely do like hanging out with you guys. It's just a lot of times it's hard. But also we need to talk to other YouTubers. Like
we've become so insular and so closed off because we're so busy. Like even when it comes to our day-to-day friends, we've just been like, we're in this place now that we're like little work goblins. I mean, we love working at Skill Tree, but like I don't go out and do a thing without thinking about the work that I have to get done. And I'm like, I'm no longer a person. I'm a work goblin. Don't you know?
Yeah. It's so bad. So like, yeah, we very much recently have been starting to reach out and talk to some more YouTubers. I've been very much trying to be like, hi, like poke.
I'm a human.
Hello, we are in the same industry and we do the same stuff. Want to chat? Speaking of which, Dark Horse, we need to chat.
I forget who, but someone's got to teach us more like leather patterning skills.
Oh yeah, no, I very much need to learn that. I think Dragon Design, who is one of our Patreon members, he's very good at doing like patterning. He'll usually do them for himself and stuff. And he recently opened one of our patterns, and he's like, "You guys need to work on this." I'm like, "I know. I'm sorry." He's like, I mean, you can make it work, but like, you guys really got to work.
Yeah, and like I feel like that's a skill that you don't really develop unless you have a reason to, and we're so busy making the actual projects that a lot of times we don't have time to then turn around and make the pattern, especially since we can't make it during because he's figuring it out as he goes, so it just becomes a whole nother thing of like reverse engineering it.
It's another thing I get better at because we're always on like the wiry cusp of time. I don't actually like make a lot of patterns or figure it out ahead of time. Like you're watching me actively figure a thing out as I go. So yeah, it's tricky.
But this is my bird and he is adorable. And he makes it all worth it. Just like Sherby makes it all worth it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, man, Illustrator is probably what I'm gonna use. That's what my friend there had mentioned as well. Illustrator's great.
I like how Dark Horse was like, it's kind of counterproductive for how I make money because he sells leather patterns. I was like, But let's be honest, most people aren't gonna actually make them. They're gonna learn, at least like, even if I wanted to learn how to make leather patterns, I would still buy a lot of pre-made ones just to learn how they function.
It teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, I should buy some of yours there, Dark Horse. And normally, again, I don't plan anything, so I don't ever have patterns on me. I think the only pattern I ever bought was at the very beginning of my channel, the Plague Doctor mask I bought from Diesel Punk, who's another awesome crafter.
Your wizard
Here's that thing. Oh, and the wizard hat, also Diesel Punk. This guy. Wow, that's one. It was. I learned so much from following this pattern. It was great. Definitely buy patterns when you're getting started.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like
it teaches you so much.
Like running pre-made modules in D&D. It's like you learn how you should be doing things. And if you just start from scratch, you're gonna have a lot of like you're gonna learn a lot, sure, but you're also gonna learn of some bad habits that you just haven't gotten deep enough into the skill to learn that you shouldn't do.
Yeah. Pattern making is its own skill right there. Yeah, it's true. Pattern making is like a whole other animal. A lot of the stuff, like I really want to make one for the poisoner's pouch that I made. This little guy here, because I like it. But in order to make said pattern, I think I'll have to rip the thing apart because I just kind of was winging it as I went. This was probably the most winging it project I've ever done in my life. Hey, NS, thank you so much for the $10. Let's see, I've been sewing since high school and still learn new things. I made some stuffed animals last year, all hand stitched. Oh, you're a monster. Machine stitching is much better. Yeah, y'all who hand stitch, absolute monsters. It is an amazing skill. Stitching is such a useful skill. Sewing is such a useful skill. I think that would be in the survival one. We did an episode on suturing, didn't we, Maddie? Like sewing up wounds. It was one of my earlier episodes.
Yeah, I just recently saw like a medic comment on that one about like making sure to practice in awkward angles and stuff.
That's a fun one. So I'm gonna tell a fun story when it comes to like the self-sufficient medical kind of stuff. So the other night I had a scare, and I thought I would have to intubate myself, which I do have like the little intubation tubes because I'm a closet prepper. I wouldn't say I'm a prepper, but I like to have the bag of stuff hidden away.
Yet he did have bandits.
Dark Horse, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear. He has like huge wound treatment, intubation tubes, all that. He didn't have band-aids in his house when I house sat and I needed a band-aid. I asked him, I was like, shit, I cut myself while I was crafting. Where are your band-aids? He's like, oh, here. And then I go look, and it's like a wound treatment kit with like tape and gauze. And I was like,
it's a Band-Aid, baby.
I was like, no, I need a Band-Aid. This will just get in my way and get wet and all this. And he's like, oh, maybe in my bathroom. And I look, and there's like Band-Aids that are obviously like over 10 years old. Like
they're not even sticky anymore.
The adhesion is gone. Like there is no pulling them apart. They just fall apart as soon as I pick
Thank
them
you.
up.
Duct tape and paper towels. That's exactly what I use.
I just want to point out the irony that he regularly orders severe medical treatment products and didn't have Band-Aids.
But if any of y'all go down when we're at an event, I got you. I don't got you, actually. They always
it's all
hire
in his
actual
house.
medical professionals. But
It's also all in
anyway,
his
thank you,
house. He doesn't
Firebrand.
bring it with
Thank
him.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, I live in the boonies. I want to make sure I can at least help if I can.
You want to survive the zombie apocalypse.
I'll wake up. See you later, Matt. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. So yes, I woke up in the night, not able to breathe. I find out that it's called a laryngeal spasm or whatever, because I have like that acid reflux. But basically, your voice box just closes, and it makes it so you cannot take a breath back in. and it lasts for like 2 whole minutes or so before it lets go. So I'm like freaking out because I'm like, whoa, looks like I'm dying tonight. Running around my house trying to figure out what to do, hitting everything, trying to find ways to like make myself able to breathe. I was just sitting there like starting to dial 911 when my throat opened back up, and I'm like, but yo, my lungs today hurt so bad from that like trying to inhale moment. But yeah, so now I may not have Band-Aids, but I do have an intubation tube should I need that.
And just to be clear, in case you're one of those people like me who's just seen like medical dramas, when intubation tube, I immediately thought the one that you like stick through your
like
neck.
A tracheectomy? No.
Yeah. No, it's just a tube you stick down your nose.
Yeah, goes all the way. Like bypasses where the closure would be.
Yeah.
I'm not schooled in how to do that.
Yeah, so he's not out there thinking that he's gonna stick himself through the throat, but that is the first thought that I had when he was like, "Yeah,
I'll probably do more damage to me than needed." But not being able to breathe was a thing. That was fun, super fun. It was scary, but we're doing good now. Feeling great, except for my lungs hurt, but they do still.
Yeah, it was like
Hey, see, Brett knows how to do that. You're an EMT. I just need you to come and hang out in my shop. You can stand in the place that number 2 is standing in. Well, you just take number 2's place, especially if we're roughly the same size, because then I can use you to like make my templates and stuff on. I will need to stick needles into you though. But you can heal that because you were an EMT.
Yeah, that's how he stays busy. He just heals himself from all the damage you deal to him.
All the damage I deal to myself, to be honest.
So let's talk about.
Hurt me more than anything else.
I guess we talked about the general, like, this would be the cool things for what to do with the channel. What do people think of, I guess, that layout? I saw at least Vale he liked the idea of the story and the LARP like adventure channel the most.
Yeah. I think that'd be fun. I mean, obviously fun for us because we like to go on LARP adventures. So like having a channel that facilitates that is always fun. People keep saying self-tattoos. I have a tattoo gun.
Don't tempt him.
I have a tattoo gun and a friend who is a tattoo artist who is like, you let me know. She tattoos herself all the time. She's like, you let me know. We'll work this thing out. Though I do have the tattoo gun, I don't trust my own artistic abilities enough to tattoo myself. I'll tattoo one of y'all. I'm not tattooing me.
We don't need to get sued.
We don't. Yeah.
Don't offer needles to people.
Hey, Jumbo Wolf, thank you so much. Super appreciate that. And thank you for watching the content. I really appreciate that too. Super helpful. Don't do it. Yeah, man, that's what waivers are for.
I mean, you can still sue someone after a waiver. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. I do love me some tattoos though. Brett just put I need ink therapy. Like, yeah, once you get one.
Yeah, once I get like a lot of my health issues kind of delayed my health journey of getting fit. But now that I'm back on it, once I get to the point where like I like the shape of my body, I'm gonna get all my tattoos because I want my tattoos to kind of go with the shape of my body, and I can't do that until I'm at the shape that I want to keep. There's a lot of tattoos I want to get.
Do the others in character, any character. Oh, just a different character every episode.
Isn't character?
It's true. We did want to remember, actually. So you started doing real short. I think you just did a couple episodes worth of the D&D, like teaching how to do D&D. It was what do we call it?
College of Lore.
College of Lore. We still have that channel too.
I think it'd be a fun channel to explore just lore in general. It doesn't have to be just D&D.
Yeah, but we were originally going to do that in character, and it was going to be like the College of Lore. Like we were going to shoot it as if we were professors in said college or whatever. It had all backgrounds and stuff ready to go. That would have been fun. It's a lot of work to do all of that. But
I feel like if I were to do it again, it'd be a lot easier. It would be another thing that I would need to be up there to do, or I would record it in bulk whenever I visit, which would kind of defeat the point of the visit because I wouldn't be able to do anything else. But I like the idea. I wouldn't want to do it just D&D. I think especially since D&D is changing so much, I haven't actually familiarized myself with the new mechanics and stuff that they're trying to put out. I'm not sure that I might just be an old curmudgeon and just be like, "Nyeh." I'll just adapt them to the original rules and forget they exist. I like the way the original. I know the feel of the original game from DMing it for so long, so I can make it work.
Yeah.
I don't know the new ones.
Tutorials and various LARP skills. Yeah, we want to do that anyways as we're like running the camp and stuff, and we have other things that are coming soon.
That could go in the adventures one, like how to pickpocket, how to like do LARP things.
Dark Horse, you mentioned that you had a few other channels, and you mentioned one of them was a roleplay ASMR. You have a good voice for ASMR. Sometimes, like, your videos in general are just so chill, and you speaking in the background, I'm like, there's a vibe to this while I craft. This is a good one. good ASMR
shall
content.
We do the ASMR?
You're just kind of like touching microphones.
Hello. No, don't do that.
That did things to me. That's a nice microphone.
Yeah, I wasn't even doing my real voice.
This is a hello.
D&D is slipping from our grasp,
Hmm.
says Risa. Quick, give me your comments to read.
Yeah, we should do an ASMR that is just us reading your comments. Some of them are super like trolly and terrible on the channel. You do, sure.
And now let us
Focus channel. Don't know.
let us return to the land of Skilltree, where we will read the words of its peoples.
This guy.
I don't know.
talked too
So
much.
far, the main reaction for this is God no. Why did I come back to ASMR? ASMR freaks me out. I think the general consensus is please don't. Please
Please
stop.
do not do this thing. Yeah.
They said talking is fine, but the crinkly and scratching is weird. So it was you that freaked them out.
Okay, that makes
I
perfect
actually
sense.
put my mic back to where it's
Further
normally,
away.
not where the
no.
streaming is.
I do kind of love the idea of just reading the comments in a really relaxing voice. This guy talks too much and thinks he knows more than he actually does.
Oh, like that would be a fun like.
You're new to YouTube, and it's gonna be scary. It's okay. Let's walk you through it.
Here are the meanest comments I've gotten on my channel.
This isn't even overall. This is just today.
Yeah. No, we do have a pretty good community. We don't get a lot of bad comments. It's nice.
So I'm curious for the comments. Like when you say ASMR, are you thinking like voice, like talk to, like what I was doing, or are you thinking like random noises?
That's customer service. It is customer service, Maddie. Yeah, no ASMR, please. I can't get, so I've tried, because I have to listen to stuff to go to bed or my brain is working too much. But like I've tried to listen to the ASMR story time, and for some reason that particular like relaxed tone of voice telling a story does not help me sleep. It is like, it tickles a weird part of my brain, like someone's sneaking up on you or something, where I'm just like, this feels wrong. I'd rather just have somebody talking, or the wonderful person who does the Silmarillion. Let the burb speak. Yeah, burb ASMR.
He's shy.
Talk, random noises. I hate it all. Yeah, a lot of that stuff, man, I don't like, or like the nails clicking, like when they do the little... I can't do it.
They want you to
I don't
speak.
like it. I did some Norse mythology sword story
He
stuff
doesn't want to
as
speak.
well, which was fun. Yeah, man, that'll work. You've got the look for the Norse mythology. I think it'll work out nicely. Middle Misred. What? We're at 7:30. What do we have for time?
That's normally when we end.
Okay, I'm trying to I'm gonna be good at it because I normally just push us along here. Okay, and Burb wants attention. So for that, I will. We'll do one more question. If anybody has a question or a comment or something. Drinking lecture. Yeah, man, I have to do the audiobooks at night. It's the only way I fall asleep. Songs. Let's see. I listen to historians to sleep. Professors are the best. Yeah, Irving Finkel, man. Irving Finkel puts me right to sleep. I like Irving Finkel. If you've not heard of him yet, he did a really good thing on the Royal Game of Ur, which is awesome. I made some Ur boards before after watching that. Good stuff. I'll do this one. How do you get the motivation to start crafting? That is by far the hardest thing. Like, we call it activation energy, right? Where you're perfectly comfortable in the state you're in, but there's a thing you want to try to make, and you have to somehow get from A to B to do it. Honestly, like just getting started, I'll usually do things adjacent to it, like lay out the tools I would need. Because once you get started, you're usually like, I'm just going to go down to the workshop, I'll lay out everything I need and just make sure I have the materials I need or whatever. And like as you're laying it out, like you're moving and you're in that space, it's a little bit easier, at least for me, to jump to the next thing and be like, oh, maybe I can I'll just start templating out of paper and just seeing how it looks or whatever. And then flash to 5 hours later, I'm like, what happened? Where have I been? I'm so hungry. That's usually how it works for me. Either that or get a YouTube channel in which people expect you to be there and you feel bad if you're not. That helps too.
Man, listen to music, start. 5 minutes later, you'll lose yourself in it.
Yeah, it's true. Just the getting started is for sure the hardest part, though. I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
I like the quote, action precedes motivation. Absolutely true. 100%. You got to do it before you feel like doing it. Especially as you get older. I look like an incredibly young and spry thing, but I'm not. And I get tired really easy. Thanks for the tip.
Research helps. Like if you plan stuff, you accidentally get yourself excited about it, and you make it easier to avoid the pitfalls of not getting excited about it and then hitting that wall of not knowing what you're doing. Yeah.
Sometimes that wall of not knowing what I'm doing is the part that makes me do it more because I get aggravated that I don't know how to take the next step. So then I just dive into, it makes the project take a lot longer because then I spend the next 5 hours doing research on all the best ways to accomplish the thing I want to do, which is not helpful either. Don't get into analysis paralysis. I do that a lot. Just try to constantly move forward.
I think it's just a thing of knowing yourself. When you don't have the resources to do a craft, what makes you want to do it? When you see us do a craft and you don't have the resources, so you couldn't do it right now, what drives you? Is it hearing about the techniques? Is it seeing a specific thing? Is it the research of it? Are you the it's kind of I've been writing a lot recently, and there's that concept of are you a pantser or are you a planner? Do you go by the seat of your pants, or do you like to plan? What is the satisfaction for it? Learn yourself, because I like to think of my brain as just like a dog. It's a good dog, but it's a dog. So you have to learn to train your brain and to learn what they respond to and what treats they like and what behavior they're good at. You learn yourself and you'll answer your own question.
Go fast so I don't miss it, because Fantasy Apprentice is awesome and is always on the Discord, always chit-chatting. And he wants me to say happy birthday to his friend named John. Happy birthday, John. I don't know you, but I hope you have the happiest of birthdays. And then there are many happy returns, all the birthdays. Be streaming Leathercraft tomorrow around 2. I'm going to set that right now because I'm constantly missing your streams and it makes me sad. So I'm going to put it in my calendar to put on your streams. Right here. I'm just going to put Dark Horse. Everybody on here too, make sure you're checking out Dark Horse's stream, and we will chit chat there. Perfect. All right, y'all. Time to disperse out into the world because I have not eaten yet, but I have drunk the whiskeys, and that's starting to catch up with me. And Maddie is disappearing into the aviary.
Fluffy baby.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always fun. This takes activation energy too, just so you know. Before we jumped onto this, we were both like, oh my God, I can't believe it's a streaming day. I'm so tired.
I sent him so we're real bad at seeing it on our calendar and just not conceptualizing that it's actually gonna happen. So around the 10 a.m. I think, or was it 1 a.m.? 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Yeah, about 1 p.m.
I sent you a message and I was like, hey, just so you know, it's a streaming day. There was a long pause and he went, okay. It's just because both of us saw it, and it's a social thing. So it's we're introverts. There's that activation energy of once we're doing it, it's fine. But getting ourselves to take that step to starting is always just
it's so hard.
It's a little part we learned it was a day we had to be social. It's you made plans with your friends and it rolls up on your calendar and you want to see them, but remembering that you have to go out and be social today just makes a little part of you die.
It's just a little part, yeah. But I'm always glad once we do it. It's always nice to sit and chat with you. We'll be back tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night with our Patreon, right? Cool.
For the Patreon members, I think the $25 and up get to join us in the chat.
I feel like one second before I leave it. Somebody says, at Riska, we can tag Kit in the Discord and keep asking. What are you asking? I'll see if I can answer it right now. My question went unanswered. Oh, Rissa, I'm tracking you. I'm going up. I'm gonna find you. What is that question? Dang it, ask the question again.
Any chance to see skill tree making padded armor or something? I made padded armor.
Yeah, by padded armor, do you mean Gambison type of thing? Or like a leather armor with a cushion kind of inside? What type of padded armor do you think? We should wait just to annoy the crap out of him. You're fine. I'm here. I'm plugged in. Just before I leave, you're my last one. I want to get this. Maddie made leg padded armor. Yeah, we've done it before where we've put fur or stuff on the inside of armor. Padded light armor, such as a gambesson or a helmet liner. Yeah, absolutely. We have danced around making gambesons for a little bit now. So that is definitely something we will throw onto
the pattern and the fabric to make a doublet to get him started towards it.
Yeah, we have the steps for the leveling up to Gambison. So that's definitely on the docket. We'll try to get to it this year for sure. Okay, love you all. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop reading your thingies because I'm gonna get sucked back into trying to answer your questions. Okay. Yeah, we need you to do the quitting of the stream.
Hello, MGD. Say hello. They were very
hello.
excited.
Hello.
All right. Night all.
All right. See you guys.